You know, son, life is like a plate of spaghetti and meatballs.
How so, Pops?
Well, you sit down, you have your spaghetti. You have your meatballs. You take your fork in your hand. Now that fork is like a time machine. And you start to swirl the spaghetti around the fork. Now at that moment that you're swirling the fork, you start to realize that the present is going into the past. Every swirl you make is time going to the past. You realize you are constantly entering the past and racing to return to the present with each and every turn. Swirl to the past, race to the present. Swirl to the past, race to the present. You watch as you spend time in your hands and as you clump up more and more of time's pasta. Once the fork is full and dripping sauce, it's then you realize you have an idea what the future is. And no, son, it's not going to be like some silly scene from a Hollywood movie where you take the spaghetti and put it in your mouth and this long 10-foot piece goes all the way into your partner's mouth, who is 3 feet across the table. It looks like a hungry wolf about to eat your nose off, if not fed soon. Then you both start slurping down each end as you stare into each other's eyes till you get to the middle, having slurped like dogs all the way, and as you get there you both pretend it's time to kiss now. The question is, who bites first? No, son, this is not Hollywood. The future you see on your fork, son, is the more likely one to happen. As you swirl that spaghetti around that fork, manipulating time, you then transport the spaghetti to your mouth with the fork time machine, and you open wide as you put the future into your mouth, biting it and eating it until the whole bite is fully gone, and you stop in the present to think. This tastes like old pasta. What are you gonna do? Tell you that time, son, about this comedy team that worked for my club?
Pops, I don't think you did.
Well, there were these two guys, son. One was named Scott Robes, and the other was named Ernie Burney. They went by the comedy name of Scottish Bernie. Well, as seeing happen, there's how much going on. Office one day, all sweaty and nervous, and they said to me, "We need a favor." I said, "Of course, fellas, I'm here to help. What can I do for you?" They said, "Sir, we seem to not be able to draw interest in our act. And we don't know why people don't come in when we're performing. We thought maybe you could help us with that." I looked at them and I said, "I noticed that, fellas, by the receipts, and I have been giving it a lot of thought before you came in. I think I have what is the problem and what is the solution. You see, fellas, when I walk past the sign and I see it says tonight's entertainment, it's comedy team Scottish Bernie, I don't stop and say, oh, they sound funny. Let me go and see them. No. On the contrary, I think it sounds like a bagpipe duo. Now don't get me wrong, I love the bagpipes, but not next to the word comedy. Do you know what I mean, fellas?" They say, yes, sir. So I told them this. This is what I told them, son. This is what we're going to do. We're going to change your name. And when we change your name, people are going to come in and they're going to sit down and have drinks and they're going to feel good and laugh. And no matter what you say, if you are funny or not, that's how we're going to do it. They said, sounds good. So what's our name? I look at them. They look at me. And I tell them, from here on in, you'll be known as the Meatballs. Bernie says, The meatballs, are you sure? Of course I'm sure. They will come in and do exactly what I said. Everyone loves meatballs. You ask, can I do you a favor? I've given you the favor, now you will accept it. I looked at them, they looked at me. I said, thank you, sir, and left happy. What are you gonna do? The next night, son, in front of the club, the sign said, tonight's comedy entertainment, the Meatballs.
So your plan worked.
Well, son, all I know is we didn't have enough room for all the people that came in that night, and the next one. So yes, I was right.
So because of the name change, they went on to become famous?
Oh no, son. For 2 nights, the place was packed. On the 3rd night, nobody was there. I guess 2 days of meatballs was enough. I heard Scottish Bernie went on to become some famous hitman. What are you gonna do? Son, did I ever tell you about the time me and Paulie Pesto Provolone was sitting in a car waiting to do a job?
No, Pops. Who is he? Why was his name Pesto?
Well, Paulie wasn't too fond of good old Italian tomato sauce. He always had it substituted with pesto. So eventually we just started calling him Paulie Pesto. He could be a bit of a pesto at times too. Anyway, son, we're sitting in the car looking through the windshield. We're seeing happen, there's so much going on. And Paulie notices it's a full moon. He turns and he says to me, hey, Gabby. Yes, Paulie, what can I do for you? You ever think there's life on the other side of that moon? I look at him. He looks at me. I think, oh no, here we go again. I said, Paulie, why would there be life on the other side of the moon when there is none on the side facing us? He scratches his head and says, I don't know, Gabby, but there could be life in there. I could look at him and see his head was hurting a little bit over this dilemma. So I thought it over, as I knew I needed to confuse him into forgetting this whole subject. I said to him, let me ask you a question, Paulie. Is there life on the side facing us? Paulie says no. So tell me, Paulie, how many people do you know would choose to live on the pitch dark side when they can live on the side that has light? He looked at me. I looked at him. Paulie said, yeah, you're right once again, boss. I knew you had the answer. That satisfied him, son. It didn't matter if I was right or wrong. And that's the difference between tomato sauce and pesto sauce. What are you gonna do? Okay, son, that's enough story time for now. I'm going back to the room to partake in some mozzarella sticks.
Okay, Pops.
Mozzarella, 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 yeah. Somebody here. Hey, isn't that the meatballs? I got more holes in me than a Swiss cheese. Damn foreign cheese. Hey, they shot me with meatballs. Isn't that ironic? Oh well, what are you gonna do?